Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Kid Zima Blue back at it again with another interview. Today we are at Dialogue Phoenix, and I'm with special guest Josh Caballes. How you doing? How you feeling?
Feeling good. Thank you.
Good to have you.
Yeah,
It's been a minute since I've done an interview.
Yeah.
But Josh is somebody that I've been friends with for a few months now. We met out front of a barbershop. Rewind. We met at Central Records.
Yeah, we met at Central Records.
You're working on some music, took some interest, and we kind of hit it off from there.
Yeah.
So just tell the audience a little bit about your background, where you come from, your upbringing.
Yeah, for sure. Where do I even start?
Yeah. Right?
I was born in Bakersfield, California. Moved to Phoenix when I was 5 years old because my mother got a job at the Veterans Hospital here. So we moved from California to Phoenix. I've been here like 20 plus years, and 2 years ago I moved to Vegas, and I just came back just like a few months ago. So now I'm back in Phoenix. So I was in Cali, Vegas for a little bit. Now I'm back in Phoenix chilling. And yeah, what else you would, or
How was your musical background and upbringing?
oh yeah, my musical background. Well, actually, my musical background started because I was actually forced to do music.
Forced?
Yeah.
By who? Your parents?
My parents, yeah. Mainly my mom. When you have Asian parents, it is a bit of a stereotype.
Yeah,
but
I heard. I heard.
But they do force you to play music. I grew up, my mom decided that saxophone would be the instrument of choice for me at a very young age of like third grade. And I think it was just because she saw some other Filipino guy playing saxophone at church on a stage and was just probably so impressed by him that she was like, I want my son to do that. So my mom bought me a saxophone, forced me to go to lessons, forced me into band. And that's just kind of like where my musical background first started. I'll be honest, I absolutely hated it. I did not like music. My mom forced me to play sax, made me sing. And I never liked it. There were even times where I even cried, where I was like, dang, like, why are you making me do this shit? But the first time that I was actually able to somewhat enjoy music, because I was like mainly like, I just loved playing video games as a kid. I loved playing basketball. I loved watching The Simpsons and Futurama and all that, those shows at the Fox channel. So that was all I really loved to do. And the first time where I was like, music is all right, was when in 6th grade, there were tryouts for the jazz band. And so I think my music teacher at the time thought I'd be really a good fit for the jazz band. So I tried out and I made it in. And when we were I was in regular concert band, and then we did a jazz piece. And I think the music teacher's like, hey, any of you kids that like this style of music, we're having tryouts for jazz band. So I was like, I think it was the A Train that we learned. I don't know if you know that song. It's a classic jazz piece. And I was like, oh, this is not bad. Like, I guess I can get down with this. Made it to the jazz band. And that's when, I kind of caught an interest in music and kind of understood musicality a little bit more, took more interest into it. And I was in jazz band from 6th grade to sophomore year. And so playing saxophone, tenor saxophone. And then I did grow up in church and playing church music as well. Been around some of the best musicians that I've known, and led worship for like my parents' prayer meetings at 16, and kind of led me to leading worship for pretty big churches and youth camps and stuff like that. So have experience singing in front of people in that way as well. So yeah, that's kind of like a bit of my musical background prior to like my own music. I guess like, yeah, other than being in band and doing church music, I was like in a pop punk band vibe when I was like 19.
How was that? Is that still surfaced on the internet?
It's on Spotify.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could look it up on Spotify. I wouldn't. No. You can look it up on Spotify. If you know, you know. I'm not gonna say it on
Pop
air.
punk band. How many people were in the group?
There was 4 of us in the group.
Okay.
And honestly, I just did it out of acceptance.
Did you play sax in the band? Or
No,
what?
no.
Okay.
I was the singer.
The singer. Okay.
We were telling people that we were, if the Used and Kings of Leon made a baby, that would be us. That was like our whole
What was the band
mantra.
called?
It was called Wallow in the Mire.
Wallow in the what?
In the Mire.
Okay.
The Doors reference. I didn't make it up, but yeah, we were a punk, like a punk band. I don't even know what kind of music was, but I was the singer, and it was really fun, and it was my first time really creating in ways like creating music. I was just so used to like singing other people's songs or learning other people's music. Like this was the first time I was a part of like a collective of creating music, which was, even though it wasn't necessarily my genre, it was just really fun because our drummer at the time, he would actually write all the lyrics.
Okay.
And I did all the melodies for the group. And so I remember really enjoying that. But like deep down inside, I was just like, I loved R&B. Like that was just, I love hip hop. I love R&B. And I just did it out of acceptance because these are just like my guys.
Yeah.
And
whose idea was it then? I guess it was the drummer's idea.
It was like we were kind of talking about it, but it was initially my idea to get together. It was like one of those situations where someone had asked me to do a gig, and I just said yes.
Then it became a thing.
Yeah, I just said yes out of like. So I just put a band together and wrote a few songs and try to like make it pop off real quick, you know, and yeah, we so I just did it because these were my closest friends at the time, and just wanted to have closer friends.
Yeah.
And so I think I just kind of like just did what they wanted to do. They wanted to do this type of music, a little bit more drive, a little bit, you know, a little heavy, but I was down for it because I just really loved hanging out with everybody, and it was just like a way for us to hang out more, you know. So that was kind of the vibe. Was it like my style of music? Not at all. But it definitely transitioned me into wanting to write my own music that actually fits who I am more as a person.
Okay.
And so I think I did that for a few years, like 5 years, and then it's about 10 years ago now that I started writing my own music and doing more things that are a little bit more my style, which is like R&B or hip hop, stuff like that. So
I mean, it sounds like you were exposed to diverse themes of music or genres of music growing up. Like you were you played for church, Christian band in church, Christian choir.
Yeah, I played in the worship teams at church.
You did some jazz, then you did
some jazz
punk,
band, did some pop punk. Was involved with choir and theater.
A little bit of acting. So
a little bit of acting.
You got a good foundation in.
Yeah.
Are you like fluent in reading music too? Like music theory?
At
one point?
I'm decently nice with the theory. Like I feel like I trust my ear more than the theory. But I believe that's like more of my strong suit. I don't really think I'm the most technical guy. Yeah. But I always felt like I had a good taste of music, and you know, like whatever I would hear something, like I would just kind of be more drawn to it, or so yeah, like definitely had built that within myself. Yeah.
So what drew you to R&B specifically, since that's like your bag? That's your passion. That's the thing that you wanted to get into the most, it seems like.
What drew me to R&B, I think, because I grew up like listening to church music, like Christian music.
Yeah.
And I think the first thing, I think it was just like a matter of something or some genre to hit my virgin ears first. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I see.
So like my sister had, this was like back at the time where we were buying CDs,
Yeah.
and she would be bumping music in her room, and I would just kind of overhear it. And I remember she was bumping the Usher
Okay.
Confessions CD,
That's my
the one
confession.
where he's just literally shirtless and he's like going like this, and there's like this, the whole of the CD is like right where his belly button is. And the reason
You
how
remember that?
how I discovered this is that I would sneak, because I would like listen to it in her room. She was like in high school at the time, so she had to go to school earlier, and so like, so I would like listen to her, and as she's getting ready, she's like bumping like dope ass, like, damn, what is this? I never heard this before. Like my little 8, 9 year old self or
Yeah.
something.
You in your room jumping on the bed?
Yeah. No, I was just probably, that was like right outside her door. Like, dang, this is kind of fire. And then once she would leave, I would just sneak in the room and like kind of like look what's in this CD player, and it was the
Oh,
CD. And I would actually, I had my own CD player, so there was like a window of time where I would steal the CD and listen to it with my headphones right before I go to school and stuff. And then there were even times where I even stole the CDs,
dang.
few CDs. I took the iPod to school once, and it actually got stolen.
Oh man.
So shout out to my sister for real. She really put me on as far as music outside of like just church music. I'm really sorry about that, but
Yeah.
it is
I've
what it is.
never.
You know?
Well, yeah. All my peoples are younger than me, so I never had to steal anything from my siblings or anything. But that's crazy, especially when you lose it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh shit. What am I gonna tell my sister?
Oh yeah, she was hella mad, like devilishly mad at that time, because that was when the iPod thing
Yeah.
was new, like the one where you would had
The little scroll
the
wheel.
scroll wheel, which
Yeah.
is so fucking fire, I think, in my opinion. You know, yeah, that was a big deal, and that was like the time when everyone was just stealing iPods. You know, and I didn't go to the best schools, so
Mm.
I
Yeah.
definitely, me having the headphones in my
Yeah.
ears,
Like
I was
he's a target.
I was a walking target for sure. So
Damn.
yeah.
So, I mean, you like R&B now. You're discovering that genre. You're listening to it. You're getting inspired. Um, when did you start, like, I guess, pursuing it seriously? Were you recording music shortly after that? Were you recording yourself on camera, making like YouTube videos, doing covers? Like, what was the next step for you as soon as you found out about like your passion for R&B?
Man, it's kind of a tough question, because with R&B within itself, like um within, for myself, I think it's just something that I'm naturally drawn to. And again, like what I was saying earlier, you know, like I think because it touched my virgin ears, that I just gravitated to it, you know, and started to listen to more R&B. Like after I listened to Usher, it was like going into Boys to Men, and then New Edition, and Keisha Cole, and like Alicia Keys, like diving into it. I think because I was so young discovering this type of music, I think the natural musical ability that I had, plus like that influence, makes me naturally express in ways that are R&B. And I think R&B is a very, I think people are actually realizing now how much range R&B has, and how much I think influence R&B does have into music in itself. I feel like that's like a new thing people are kind of discovering. Um, and but like at least for myself, you know, it was just a matter of me. Um, it was a matter of me just. I just felt like one day it was like kind of like a build up towards like, hey, I want to make my own music. Or I think I just like naturally made my own song on GarageBand, and then I sent it to one of my friends who was also working on music. Like he was just trying to learn how to use the program, and he did like I sent it to him, then he sent me another track back that sounded better than what I just sent to him, and it just kind of built up into this like EP that we made. It's like on SoundCloud. It's like just called like Josh Caballes EP 1, you know.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so, yeah, like that kind of just started, and I did like a show, and I was just so like hyped for it. Like I remember I was like screaming at the crowd, like I'm here to stay. Like I said, it was like I had like a Kanye moment. I think it was like it was fresh off that Kanye thing.
Was this in high school?
This was like this was like when I was like 22. 20,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or like 20 years old, 21 or something.
Okay.
And I was even just screaming on the mic, just off the energy, just because it was like so cool that I was able to sing something that was like really mine, you know, and have a cool reaction towards it. People showed up and people were interacting with the music. And I just remember like screaming at the mic, like, I'm here to do this. This is what I do. Like I was being too much. Like,
bro, that takes a lot of confidence. I've never done anything like that in front of a crowd.
And I'm not even like that. It was just off of the energy of that night. I was just like, dang, like I think I just loved it so much that I was just telling the 40 people or whatever,
that's a lot of
20,
people,
40 people that were there, like I'm here to do this. Like,
okay.
I do this shit.
Where do you think some of your inspiration comes from? Have you ever went through a period of time where like maybe women inspire your music
God. Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously a common thing amongst, you know, R&B artists, like women inspiring your music.
For sure. It's definitely, you know, experiencing women and love and in the way that I have experienced it in my own way. And honestly, it kind of started off being kind of, you know, it's always a hurtful situation where it's like you have nowhere to resort other than just singing your ass off or some shit, or like making some hard ass beat or some shit. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that. But I feel like, and it, just like being in certain situations and experiencing things, and I guess it really does inspire me. But I feel like now it has evolved. I think I kind of write just because I feel like I've matured a lot within what I understand about love and relationships, that I just didn't feel that like, you know, being sad in correlation of love is like the only route. You know, I feel like love is more of a perspective, and I think every relationship or experience that we have with love, there's something to be learned, and there's something to even take from life when you experience these things, because you're essentially experiencing somebody else and their world and what they go through. And when you spend time with them or you do things together, you whether you're intentional or not, you are subconsciously experiencing life with them. And so that's why these things can like hurt so much, or these things can feel so amazing, because it's like it's like going to another country, you know, like you're experiencing someone else's
whole world.
Whole world, like, you know what I'm saying? And on top of that, if they're like fly and they're cute, like it's a double. Whoever you're into, whether it's, you know, man or woman, or it's like you're diving into something. And especially if you're like you're gifted into writing and you're sensitive towards, you know, quote unquote love or whatever, then you know, then there are things that will naturally be expressed for me.
You think some of your best work has come from when you were in love or in a relationship?
Yeah, I guess. Like
someone,
it's not even like necessarily being in love. It's just like I think I write more based off of my experiences.
Okay.
Like I don't know if I'm like, I feel like if I am in love, I don't think I am writing music. I'm not gonna lie. Like
that shit is distracting.
Yeah. It's like, yo, fuck music. I got a homegirl, or I'm chilling with someone. You know? It's always when like they're gone, or or like I'm
Baby,
just,
come back.
or I'm just fucking chilling, or like I don't know. But yeah, but if I'm in the mix of things, I'm not really focused on
The music.
the music aspect. I think the music aspect of things is just more an expression for me. It's not really like my whole existence,
Okay.
or at least like
It's a byproduct of your experiences.
yeah, it's a byproduct of who I am and
Okay.
how I express, that's my artistic ability. And
Okay.
so, yeah.
What are some creative things that you explore outside of music?
Let's see. Lately, outside of, I guess lately, it's been reading. I've been enjoying reading.
You read, bruh?
Yeah, I love to read.
Okay.
I love to read books that, for people that don't like to read, like I think that's just kind of an excuse. Like reading is like the original form of like
Entertainment.
entertainment.
You're right.
Like
You're right.
stories, and so it's not a matter of you not liking to read. You just never read something that you actually liked. So
True.
recently I've grown a lot and found a lot of my interest, like what are the things that I like and what intrigues me. And so I just decided to, any book that I get, like it's only things that I'm interested in, and so one thing that's been really helpful is just reading. Like I feel like that's really creative, and journaling out my thoughts. I love connecting with people recently. Not saying that I haven't enjoyed that before, but I felt like probably before COVID, I was just very socially anxious, and felt weird about interactions. Like even though I was like really cool with people, it was just still kind of hard for me.
Yeah.
But I think now I'm like really inspired by connection. Like I have like a whole thing within myself where inspiration by connection,
Okay.
like more so staying inspired by having good people around me, and like and just being curious. I think sometimes we're just like, oh, like I don't like people and people suck, but it's just like at the same time it's like maybe just be a little bit more curious, maybe,
Or just surround yourself by the right people.
Yeah.
Find that circle.
yeah, surround yourself by the right people, or create the conversations that you want to have, you know what I mean? Like even if that they may not seem like the person that would like that conversation, just bring it, bring up hot takes. Like I love hot takes, man. If a friend says some wild shit, I don't judge him for it. I'm just like, God damn, bro. Like, talk about it, man. Like, why you think that way? That's fucking wild. Never heard that in my life, bro. So, like, that's been definitely, like, something that hasn't been inspiring me, is just, like, connecting with people and picking other people's brains and stuff like that, and learning about how other artists and how they live and what's their lifestyle, what's their struggles, like, and just try to find some familiarity, or like some
Middle ground.
middle ground towards like I'm not alone in this, or the way that I feel, or you know what I mean. So I guess, and creatively, like I don't know, I think on the other side of things, it's just really just breaking even more down what I do, like for instance, like being a part of every process, but like just being more intentional, like
the video creation process.
Yeah, like putting on a concert, and like how what does that even mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy, bro. That you've been able to do that. Like
like pretty much just like break it down. Like what is lighting? Like what is sound? What is the dynamic of a band? Like how is a band supposed to gel? How do we build a chemistry? Like just pretty much nerding out, like on your own craft, on my own craft, and not just being like, oh, I'm just singing and writing. Like no, like I'm actually talking to an actual sound engineer and like trying to just hang out with them, or an actual lighting guy, or an actual songwriter, you know what I mean? Like just trying to build my connections and being around people that are just a
part of the whole creative process.
Yeah, because like if you're just gonna hang out, like you're a producer, if you were just hanging out with other producers all the time, like I don't know, that I feel like that's just gonna get boring.
Because you become stagnant.
Yeah, you just become stagnant because all of it's kind of relative.
Yeah.
But what will really advance you creatively is just talking to different type of people, like
Yeah.
an illustrator or a videographer, and it's beyond just working together. It's just like really, having questions or things that you've been thinking about, or like talk about what they like and watch the movies they recommend or the music they listen to, like listening to what a painter listens to, like that gives me way more inspiration than like some other producer homie that tells me, oh, have you listened to this new album? Like, it's like we've already been
Probably, yeah, we probably listen to the same shit.
yeah, we was like, oh, I already listened to that. We listen to the same shit, But when you talk to someone that does something else, it's like, dang, like you listen to that, like that's weird. Or sometimes you'll just be surprised that they just listen to like regular ass shit, but like their art is so extensive. So I think it's like being creative is just figuring out ways to build your curiosity, like never settling, never being stagnant. I mean, you're going to be stagnant, but just trying your best to try to get out of that every time. And literally, like, my cure is just curiosity every time.
That's good, man. That's what's up. So I want to talk about that concert that you had recently. I didn't get a chance to go, unfortunately, but from the looks of it, it looked amazing. I mean, like you said, you were involved with the whole creative process. Like, what was creating that like? And how did it feel being able to connect with all the people that came to your show and performing in front of them? Like, how did you cultivate that fan base? Let's talk about that. You threw a concert.
Yeah, no, I have no idea because the context of that. So we got to take it back because
Yeah.
I did a headline show 2020 right before COVID hit. And this was like there was a lot of momentum going into my music. Like a lot of people were really excited about it. And then I did like this really big headline show. I think like 300 people showed out.
Dang.
And like it probably sold out. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to that stuff, but it was just like really good energy. And then pretty much COVID hit, and honestly that really kind of hurt me a lot as an artist, because just to get to that point, it took me a long time. It took me about 7 years to do that. And so when COVID hit, with all this momentum, I just kind of felt like it took a pause. And so I was trying my best to do stuff at home, but just trying my best, but as for me and for a lot of people in the whole entire world, it was like a whole change of lifestyle. And so, but then I got the opportunity to do a show at the Greater Good in 2021. And it was funny because this is like when things were lifted. Like this is right when things were lifted. So people were scared to go out, but like the ones who did go out, like they was
having a
rebels.
blast.
Yeah, they were just like, oh yeah, we going out.
I've been waiting to get outside.
Yeah. So, but even in that event, we had about 100, like 20, 150
At the Greater
people
Good,
at
the
the Greater
barbershop?
Good. Yeah.
Damn.
And it was an amazing show, man. We had it all. We did the whole thing, man. We got a stage.
Was it in the back of the Greater Good or inside the
It
Greater
was
Good?
inside. Yeah.
A stage inside of there?
We had a stage. We had lighting.
Dang.
It was just a whole experience that we created. And so that was like a really good show because it really, that really opened my mind, like working with Jesse with that show. And one of the things that we really wanted to do was, create magic. Like this is a moment. This is magic. This is what we're doing. So that kind of like taught me, like, or it showed me, lit a light bulb within me, like, okay, like
This is possible.
let me create experiences rather than just like put on a show, And so so doing that show alone definitely it put me in a different light as far as how people saw me and like what to expect from my shows. And so I think like even though I released like a tape after that and like a few singles, and I didn't do any shows after that, maybe like one or two, but they were just really small, or I didn't really care for them that much. So leading up to this show that I did recently in April, Honestly did not know what to expect. When I moved to Vegas, I actually took a break from music, and then I came back to it solely off of. This is kind of a story, but
Yeah, yeah, it's all good.
so yeah, when I went to Vegas, I moved and I was just kind of burnt out, and I actually like I tried to do music out there with a few people that wanted to support me. Things kind of fell through, and I honestly I was just burnt out with dealing with people, dealing with like industry shit, and so I just kind of took a step back, like worked a job and just really focused on just nothing, honestly, just like stacking bread.
Did that make you depressed? Like, as artists, we want to do this full time sometimes, but sometimes we find ourselves in positions where we have to do something maybe not directly related to music or like totally left field from music to like make ends meet and, support ourselves.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I was more depressed when I was just trying to balance, like when in my mind, if I'm trying to balance these things, but I like legitimately just gave it up.
Dang.
But I knew I was gonna. I'm not being like. I wasn't being like so serious. I was just like, let me just not care
Okay.
about my music. Like, let me just fucking be like normal, or like, let me just go find a job and figure it out.
Okay.
See if like music is even what I really want to do.
Okay.
So I honestly wasn't even that depressed because I just gave it up. I think
You just let go.
I think it's depressing when you try to hold on to something that's just not like really like it may be working for you and you may have the talents, but it's just not really like the timing of it. You know what I mean? Like,
Jeez.
so like I wasn't even really that depressed about it because I just gave it up. I was like, well, I'm just not gonna do it. Like straight up, like it's okay. And I think that acceptance towards it just kind of like made me enjoy whatever was what I had in the moment. And what got me back into music was actually jazz music. And so all the, like I was saying earlier, like how, I was forced to play music and all that. Like when I was playing jazz music at the time, like I didn't like love it.
Yeah, you said you didn't like it.
I didn't really like it. It was just something because, my parents wanted me to do it.
Yeah.
So, but then I just started listening. Like, I think I just ran into it at the restaurant I was working. I heard a piece, or there was just something so distinct that like I started deep diving, and like off the bat, Miles Davis got me into it. Like listening to Miles Davis records and Grant Green and Herbie Hancock, like I just started just learning how to listen to music again, and so, and what really got me there was listening to jazz and realizing, and it was almost like a healing thing of my past where it was like, because of the things that I've been through, and music does have a part of it within the journey that I didn't even realize. But realizing how much knowledge I do have with jazz music, and like
it's your foundation.
Like I literally, like every time I dive into the albums, like, oh, I know this musician, like, oh, this musician got a whole album. Like I was like, I used to do his pieces like in 8th grade jazz band. Like, this is crazy. I used to learn these solos and I didn't even give a fuck at the time. And now I'm just like listening to it with a whole new
full circle.
Yeah, perspective, like just giving it up, and then now kind of like regaining that love. And so so that kind of stirred the pot within me, like, all right, let me just, people, even throughout that time, people always messaging me like, yo, love this song and listening to your music, like people still sharing my shit, so it's like I'm still kind of like, oh, that's cool.
So you got some day ones, you got some real fans out there in your music.
I got day ones for sure. Shout out to all you that kept me afloat. But I just kind of decided, okay, going into, because I already had a lot of music, going into putting myself out there again, I was just going to focus on the online.
Okay.
Me pushing myself online. I never had a problem doing live shows and bringing people together and putting on a show and stuff like that. I've always done pretty well. But I always just struggled with, my branding and online presence. So I decided full-fledged that I was going to focus on that. And I released a song called Searchlight last year. Was it last year? Yeah, last year. And leading up to it, I knew what I had. I knew that song was amazing. And so I decided that I was gonna warm up with some of our old songs for about a month or two, and then when Searchlight came out, I was just gonna go crazy, you know. So I made sure to get like create good visuals, good photos for it, and once it dropped, I just pushed it, you know, just trying my best to push it. I'm only saying this because how it leads to this show is that like, I think I was only able to do that show because of the work I'd done online, like with the combination of day one fans and a lot more new fans that I've gained.
Yeah.
I was able to, you know, do another show and
And the momentum of Searchlight. Too.
Yeah, in the momentum of Searchlight, which is still going up right now. So it's like kind of crazy. Like it's still, no one has heard it, you know, like that's how I think of it when I wake up every day. I look at it, even though it has like a lot of streams, like I'm still kind of like, no one has heard this song. Like I still got to push it. So I'm still pushing it on TikTok and
that's good, man.
Everywhere that I, you know, have social media. But I was able to put on that show based off of just kind of like the work that I did online. And that's why I called it Living Proof, because it was just kind of like, this is me in real life. Like, this is who I am. Like, I'm beyond just an online musician. Like, this is what I really do. I love performing in my own way. And so that's why we decided to call it Living Proof, you know, and that's in context of the song itself too. Like, no, you never need living proof. So,
got my attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me, what's Searchlight about? What's the song itself about?
Searchlight is about, actually, so there was a time where I was like really going back and forth to Vegas right before I left. And there was a freeway sign, like, in between, on your way to Vegas, there's this freeway sign called Searchlight.
Okay.
It's a city called Searchlight. And for some reason, like, that sign would just always intrigue me, because I just thought it was really funny that there is like a town called Searchlight in the middle of the desert. And then I actually there was a rave that I've been to in that city as well. Yeah, It was like a mountain rave.
Hey.
Like, we had a drive, and I went separately from my friends, and like I was looking for them. So that kind of started off that lyric. Like, I was in Searchlight, I was trying to find my friends, and so when I was in the studio with Teddy and he showed me that beat, that was just like the first line that came out. Like, I find your Searchlight. Like, I don't know, like, and then it kind of just inspired me to like, I'll find your Searchlight. Like, okay, you know, what is it? Maybe this song can be about, like, what is it that I'm looking for, or like what's gonna catch my attention? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
so it's not about a girl.
I mean, I feel like my songs are not about anyone specific.
Okay.
There's definitely an influence, but it's kind of just like a blend of like everything that I've experienced, and it's not any girl, but in a sense, it's kind of like got my attention, like, you know, and it could be so many things, but I guess right now it could just be like a certain person. Like, say you're at the club, and there's like a homegirl right there, and then, you know, got my attention, so tell me what you know, gonna do, no need. It's just like kind of a thing where it's like, hey, you have my attention now, so like, what are we gonna do? Like, am I gonna get your number? Are we gonna make out? You want me to? Am I gonna buy you a drink? You know, so are we gonna dance? Like, are we gonna hang out later? Or are we gonna, you know, or is this gonna be my fucking wife? You know, you never know. Like, it's like a whole. I feel like this song kind of represents like a blend of like trying to find something real, and then also like in the moment, like trying to find something in the moment, or like, you know what I'm saying? You be looking around, you see someone, oh, you got my attention, you know what I'm saying? Which my own lyrics don't work for game.
They don't?
They don't work for myself. But I've had other friends that use my lyrics, and they said that it works. Yeah. You know, yeah, help them out. So that's all I care about.
Yeah,
you know, if someone's getting laid, that's all I care about. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody
better get laid. If it's not me, it better be somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, that's how it usually works. You know, you put on somebody else's music, and, you know, set the tone, set the vibe. Yeah. So tell me some of the projects that you maybe have lined up in the future? You working on anything currently?
Yeah. Well, right now I am busy trying to put together a show for September 30th. It will be my next concert. So definitely trying to present myself well and try to level up in certain ways. I'm collaborating with really dope people with this show, so like super excited. Definitely don't want to miss that opportunity to see it. I'm continuously always just writing and working on new music. One of my challenges that I really try to put myself in is just be in the studio as much as I can, even within like the busy schedule that I have. Like I'm not a full-time musician or artist yet, so it's like, so it's about prioritizing my time, making sure I'm healthy the best way, so that when I'm in the studio, I can write my best shit. Or it's not even about writing my best shit, but it's just like about being present, about being in the moment, being able to have things come together to where I can make a great song. Which like you definitely, I'm not trying to encourage like like I'm not encouraging, like I think at the end of the day music should be just pure expression, whether it's good or bad. But I think part of the challenges of music making is execution and finishing songs.
Yeah, man.
And so that's just like the biggest challenge that I have. I feel like I have this weird, recently I just been feeling like really detrimental towards my music, and like I gotta get this shit off, like, so I'm really trying to push forward finishing music. And when someone sends me a demo, I like write to the whole thing. Like I've written, like there's demos that I've written, like people send me like 5-minute instrumentals.
Yeah.
I'm just like writing to the whole thing, and they're like, bro, I didn't even expect all that. That's kind of cool. And I'm like, yeah, bro, like I just try my best, bro. Like I'm really trying to get shit off, like make a song out of this, like, so I'm really just like trying to push myself to be the best artist that I can be for myself, and so just constantly being in the studio or just creating the time to write, to sing, to just kind of make my gift a part of my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a talent, but I still have to nurture it. I still have to practice. I still need to, I still need to like, it's almost like a marriage, like it's kind of like a love-hate relationship.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
you just like, oh fuck, but it's just like, damn, this singing is my thing, like I'm just, so it's really natural for me, so it's like, it's definitely something that I'm continuously trying to figure out, like, what do I like? What is my style? What am I drawn to as an artist, and also just, yeah, I think even that, I feel like I'm changing so much the more that I'm in music and the more that I'm putting myself out there. Just learning so much about myself and learning just the type of people that are gravitating towards the music in myself. And so I'm really just challenging myself to relay that more so aesthetically. And so that's definitely something that I'm paying attention to. And I have new merch lined up as well too. We're continuously working on merch, working with really amazing artists that are in my circle. And so,
What kind of merch? You got some t-shirts, some vinyls, some tote bags. What's up?
man, I don't want to give away too much.
Okay.
But should I? I don't know.
I mean, whatever you want.
Yeah, no. Oh,
Tell
yeah.
them about it.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
merch.
No, it's just merch.
Yeah.
Anyone can make the shit. You know what I'm saying? No, but yeah, I have some bandanas that I'm gonna be doing.
Okay.
So I'm currently like trying to design some bandanas. I do want to work on a vinyl for Searchlight soon. Got an opportunity to possibly do something like that. So yeah, just those are a few things that I got in store, but continuously trying to create ideas and ways to put myself out there, especially with merch. So
That's what's up, man. I was talking to Buoyant like yesterday. He said something about going overseas. You got any overseas
Oh yeah,
opportunities?
yeah. I might. I'm trying to do like a low key London tour next year.
You got a huge fan base out there. You got some people that mess with you
I
out
think
there.
I guess I have a growing fan base in London that I
Okay.
don't even really.
Shout out London.
Yeah, shout out London. And when I say growing, it's like all I know is like 3 people.
Yeah. How do? Yeah. I'm not.
Because I actually like hang out with them on Google.
Okay.
We like chat on
Google what?
Google Meetup, like Google Meet,
Okay.
or like
Yeah. Video chat.
the video chat.
Okay.
We just talk and
How did that come to be? They just hit you up online.
yeah.
and you found
There
out they
was
were-
actually a guy, and he just DM me and be like, bro, like I love your music, like we gotta talk, or blah blah blah. And I was just like, I don't know, like I don't really need all that, whatever.
I don't need all that.
Yeah, he was just like, I don't know, like I don't have time, you know, like
Yeah.
what, like whatever, yeah, like I thank you, you know what I mean. But he just really wanted to talk to me and stuff like that, and he was like very he was almost like like I felt like a girl, like
Oh shoot.
he was like trying to pursue me,
on some
you know,
groupie.
yeah, like on some shit.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
I love
like
your music so
he's like,
much.
oh, I really think we should work, like we should talk, mate, like and I work for this promotional company and this and that, whatever. But other than that, it's just like we just want to talk to you because like we just really like your music and we want to help you. And then I finally got into a conversation with him, and then it kind of grew into talking to his other people that he works with. And so yeah, like I actually just talked to them a few days ago about, you know, me being really serious about coming to London next year and like trying to do just like a few shows. It might not even be that, who knows where
Yeah.
my music will be.
I think it can go somewhere.
It could definitely blow up, honestly,
Yeah.
anytime. But I mean, I think it'd be cool just to go out there and just to hang out with them, you know, like just to build that connection. And they're in the music industry out there, so they said that they would try their best to just, you know, give me like a few shows in different cities, like whether it's just opening up for people or at like a house show or at like a little dive pub. They don't call them bars, they call them pubs out there. And, you know, just maybe do something fun. And I've been kind of telling a few people, and like a lot of people want to go too. So
Bro, that's beautiful. I think you should do it.
yeah, I think
Like-
anyone that would want to go to London next year with me and hang out at the pubs and mess around a little bit in London, like let me know.
Have you ever
'cause,
been overseas before?
as far as music, no.
Just in general?
Oh yeah, in general, yeah.
Where you been?
I've been to the Philippines, been to like where my parents are from.
He's Filipino, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Love y'all. Anyways, yeah, been to the Philippines. I've been to Hong Kong. I've been to Israel.
Been out there.
I've been to Mexico City. Been to where else have I been? Yeah, I've been to those
You've
places.
been blessed to travel, man. I just got my passport last year.
Oh yeah,
I've been to Mexico once. I've been to St. Carlos, New Mexico. It was
Nice.
dope. But I want to go more places. I'm trying to go to London. So if you end up going to London
Go to
before
London
me,
next year. There'll be
you
a
know.
few. I think there'll be a few of us going. So definitely come through with us. Yeah,
let's go. Let's do it.
yeah.
You got any advice for aspiring artists out there trying to, you know, make a living doing art or just pursuing art in general? You
Well,
got
I don't
some
know. I
encouraging-
don't make a living doing this
Just-
yet.
maybe
but-
not even like just encouraging words for artists
Oh, encouraging words.
pursuing
Um,
their passion.
I just, I would just say like today. Oh man, there's so much. I think the first thing that comes into mind is just take your time. Like literally start slow, breathe. Yeah, breathe. Take your time, because if you really love this art shit, like you really do it because you love it. It's not because of your ego. It's not because you're popular or
Clout.
the clout, because it is fun. You know what I'm saying? It is fun walking around and being like, oh, I heard your music, I've seen this, and like, you know, that's cool. But at the end of the day, like that kind of stuff fades. But definitely just like check yourself, you know what I mean? Like really like, and I say start slow because it's easy to be caught up in those things like ego and like attention and stuff like that. That shit is like straight dopamine to your brain that like you'll get burnt out once that doesn't
Exist anymore.
exist anymore. And so I think that's like my number one advice is like really take your time, like really just love what you're doing, love the craft, you know, like love every detail. Like if you're a painter, like love the different type of shading, or like
The brushes
and the colors and the paper and the material, and
fall in love with the process.
yeah, fall in love with the process. And like, and even though it's so intimidating, like don't, you know, just start small. Like literally put, like there's times where I have lulls in music where I'm kind of like, dang. And I even still do this to this day. Like if there's been like a few days where I haven't even touched anything and I'm just feeling uninspired or just intimidated, or I heard, you know, I heard some music and I'm just like, damn, like I can't do that, you know, and just feeling kind of stuck. Like I'll literally just put 10 minutes on a timer and just, all right, I'm not doing anything in this 10 minutes except making music, or like trying to focus on my music or whatever it means to me, and build yourself up like 10 minutes, and then push yourself to 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden you'll do 2 hours, and then there'll be a time where you don't even care about time. And it's always like this,
You get lost in the process then.
yeah, it's always this cycle of like you hate what you do, and then like
Yes,
then
bro.
then you love it, and then like you love it too much, and then so it's like more so like loving the process. Like really take your time. Like if you're just starting, like just start, and like say if you like music, you know, don't just dive into all of music. Just like kind of do research. Like, okay, what is it that I like about music? Like I get, like if you're a producer, right, and just focus on reverb. You know what I'm saying? Like just focus on one thing, like reverb, and spend your time doing that for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like dive yourself, like nerd out. You know what I mean? Like put a timer for 30 minutes and like I'm only gonna research reverb, you know, and like
Mess around with some different reverbs, some
that's my
delays.
thing, or like delay, or comping, or you know, whatever art form that you do. You know what I mean? Like art is so endless. Like even the one thing that we do, there's just so much to it. You know what I mean? So you can definitely take one aspect of it, and there's just millions, endless information on just one little thing. You know what I mean? Which is like so overwhelming, but at the same time, it's like it's a blessing. You know what I mean? Like creativity is like a fucking library. It's like you know what I mean? Like it's a universal library that you can kind of like take from any.
I think Pharrell said something like that
Yeah,
once.
that's
He was
honestly
like,
where I got it
he's
from.
like, yo, you're just checking out ideas
Exactly.
every single day from the universe.
Yeah. So like, yeah, don't be afraid. Like just dive yourself into it. You know, you're not bigger than anybody else. It's not anything to be like
In competition.
in competition with, which like it's cool to kind of compete within your mind, but like don't get too serious about it, you know, like compete with yourself at the end of the day, you know, and talk your shit too if you want to talk your shit. That's all part of the thing, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, you know, just start small, and it's a cycle. It's a continuous vicious cycle of weird feelings.
That's what's up, man. Let the people know where they can find your Instagram, your music, anything to get in contact with you.
Yeah, I would say probably the best form is Instagram, just my name, Josh Caballes, Caballes, Caballes. That's where I kind of keep everything up to date as far as what I'm releasing and like my next concerts and my day-to-day life. I'm on TikTok. I'm on TikTok heavy, on YouTube.
What's your TikTok? I know you be so
Same
posting.
name, Josh Caballes. Josh Caballes is my TikTok. Yeah, those are pretty much my main form of social media at the moment. So,
But all right, man. Well, I enjoyed interviewing you. I enjoyed this talk. And do you have anything else that you wanted to say?
no, I don't, man. I appreciate you, you know, wanting to schedule time and talking to me, and you know,
I know more about this guy now. I know his whole life story. I'm sure we'll talk more.
Yeah, we'll talk more.
There'll be more videos.
We'll figure it
Has to
out.
be.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you, bro.